I'm starting.
They're right back out there.
Well, one of us should be here today.
To be able to see.
Yeah.
Do you want to be?
I don't care. if
Okay,
it's an
I'll let you.
Well, it's
Sign and sheet.
and you were the track of the two. Maybe back in like this.
Do you want paper? Or I'll just make notes.
Well, you brought two, right?
Yeah.
You brought two extra.
I did.
Yeah. Have to be probably pretty quiet because
Right. I hope we don't forget our time. Maybe if we put my dad in there.
should I just write your name?
We called yesterday up on top of the wheat bill. 4.5 hours nonstop walking Cory So I've had my exercise, and a 50-year-old man can still do it.
We'll ask Cody how well you did it.
In a side by side.
Yeah.
I wish. But one of them, I think I owe you something. It's here because it looks like shredded it as our dad.
Cody, 2 hours.
Yeah, basically.
We'll call this meeting to order, and we'll pledge allegiance to the flag first, please. I will read it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
December 4th, 2018, a regular meeting of the Franklin Town Board is called to order by Supervisor Jeff Taggart at 7:30 p.m. Present were Jeff Taggart, Jared Sitz, David Grant, Donnie Smith, Dwight Bruno, Mark Lang, and Paul Warner. Dawn Rick submitted her resignation as of November 30th, 2018. Garrett Sitz made the motion to appoint Sonia Johns to finish Dawn's term as town clerk, tax collector, and registrar. David Grant seconded the motion. All present agreed. The board thanks Dawn for her years of service. The minutes were read from the November 7th, 2018 meeting. Garrett Sitz made the motion to approve the minutes as read. David Grant seconded the motion. All present agreed. A resignation letter was received from Julia Lockwood, dog control officer, effective December 19th, 2018. We will start looking for a replacement. Dave Tuthill gave the report from the Franklin Kellogg Trust. Their next meeting will be April of 2019. Mark Lang reported that he is still working on the road abandonment. Mark responded to Tina Burnham about her concerns for Russell Road. The CHIPS money should be here by December 15th, 2018. There are 2 graders at an online auction in Georgia. They are in good condition with low hours. It would cost $60,000 to repair the one we have. It was agreed to bid up to $80,000 for one of these. Garrett made the motion to reappoint Tom Collier to the Board of Assessment Review. David Grant seconded the motion. All present agreed. David Grant made a motion to pass a resolution to adopt the Delaware County Multi-Jurisdictional All Hazards Mitigation Plan Update. Donnie Smith seconded the motion. All present agreed. Jeff received a revised budget from the Franklin Free Library. Donnie Smith made the motion to accept Trimble Electric estimate of $12,350 for changing the electric service at the town shed to get ready for the addition. David Grant seconded the motion. All present agreed. Dwight Dwight Bruno made the motion to change the starting time of board meetings to 6 o'clock from November to March meetings. David Grant seconded the motion, all present agreed. With nothing further, Garrett made the motion to adjourn at 8:46 PM. David Grant seconded the motion, and all present agreed.
Any additions or corrections? We have a motion to accept the minutes?
I make a motion.
Second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you.
It's like a long time ago. I don't have any names, but I have, am I supposed to? I have no idea. The deputy clerk is going to be Penny Story, so we'll have to do that. That's,
Myself. Yep.
deputy is Paul,
Yep.
it's Jamie,
Yep.
no, that's Garrett. I got it back in order. Jamie. No, met her today for the first day.
Oh, good.
Health officer is good. Greg,
Should have stayed for all church, but just.
code enforcement officer is.
I did it. Come on, just keep these in order.
Cheryl Sacco. C-C-K-O-N.
And we don't have these.
Not this time.
Did somebody get a hold of you?
Kim,
She called and I told her to get a hold of you. And I think she said she already had left a message or
yep,
something.
she gave, left a couple messages, I talked to her, Kim, God, Ryan. She did, and then she decided it wasn't something she wanted.
Oh, okay. Planning board is,
Dan Schleifer is chairperson.
historian is Laura Foster King. Town board rep on the planning board is
Myself.
you. And the rec, I think, is David and Garrett, right? And Dwight for the Kellogg
Kellogg
Foundation.
Foundation, yeah.
And the reporter. And what am I? Okay. Yeah, 'cause I
Right,
looked, or I copied the list off, I
right, yep.
wasn't sure.
This is gonna be the appointments for this 2019. If you wanna read them off, Sonia, go ahead.
Fiscal officer is Jeff Haggard, deputy fiscal officer is Paul Murder, deputy town supervisor Garrett Sitz, deputy highway superintendent Jamie Archibald, deputy clerk is Teddy Story, health officer is Greg Kajowski, code enforcement officer Mark Jacobs, town attorney Cheryl Sacco, court clerk Jan Schleifer, planning board, what's it called?
Planning board chair.
Chair, Dan Schleifer, town historian Laura Foster Cave, town board rep for the planning board is Jeff Taggart, town board rep for the recreation committee is David Grant and Garrett Sitz, town board rep for A.L. Kellogg Foundation is Dwight Bruno, the official newspaper is the Walton Reporter, and the official bank is Wayne Bank Franklin office.
Any additions or corrections to that? We have a motion to approve the appointments.
I make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll say.
All in favor?
Hello.
I was just doing the meeting dates.
Over here too.
Okay. February 5th at 6 o'clock. March 5th at 6 o'clock. April 2nd at 7:30. May 7th at 7:30. June 4th at 7:30. July 2nd at 7:30. August 6th at 7:30. September 3rd at 7:30. And October 1st at 7:30. That will be November. No, this is up to the board. You want, election day is the 5th. So we should meet within, we usually meet the following, either Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of that week. This year, I think we met on Wednesday after election day. Is that, that's what you
Yeah,
want?
that's fine.
That would be the 6th of November.
And that'll be at 6 o'clock,
And
right?
at 6 o'clock, yes. And the 3rd of December at 6 o'clock. Another addition to that is the 3rd, 6th, 9th, and 12th meetings will be in Treble.
January meeting?
No,
No, what's the
it'll be
January?
March.
Today, January 8th.
Well, yeah, alright.
No, what's that, Dwight?
Which ones will be in term? March, June, September,
March,
December.
June, September, and December.
Show dates.
What's the location for the Treadwell
It's the
meeting?
Treble, Community,
Kellogg.
A.L. Kellogg
The new old
Foundation. It's part of the new school.
Right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ginseng farm.
Ginseng.
Right.
Well, mushroom ginseng, it's, that, they haven't got anything going yet, I don't believe, but they're very, the foundation's lucky to have, you know, the 2 rooms on the end of the school, and they're working well with it, I guess. Okay. We've got to look at, well, we gotta have courses, I guess, on it too, on the sexual harassment policy at some time, but the insurance company's gonna put something together, I believe. You talked to Bill about, I talked to Bill about it,
We talked to Bill last week, we didn't bring that up.
but I know there's, it's something that is being shoved down municipalities' throat. That's all there is to it. You adopt it, or you adopt it. So, that's, what it is. But we're gonna have training, we gotta adopt it anytime, or the sooner the better, I guess. And then we have to have training on it by October, I believe, is when. Anybody who is volunteering for the town or municipality, any kind of, anybody who does work for the town, just everybody's gotta have their training yearly. It's not a one-shot deal, you gotta have it yearly, it's gotta be updated. So it's gonna be a lot of extra paperwork, I think, for somebody.
Does that include, like, people who are doing mow lawns and stuff like that, Jeff?
I would have to say yes. It's a
I didn't know if
blanket.
that was like, you know, some kind of business, that independent business should be responsible for its own.
Right, but they've gotta, if they have not, has not had the training and approved of the policy, I don't believe the town can hire them.
No.
It's their responsibility to, you know, be brought up to speed on it or whatever, or be, you know, have the training and everything for it. Anybody who's hired by the town or municipality, or, you know, our planning board's gotta go through it, our ZBA's gotta go through it, our, all employees, town board, you know, everybody that's tied to a municipality in any way. I'm sure the school's the same, they've gotta have the same thing.
Someone comes here?
It may, I'm thinking probably through M&T Mag, our insurance carriers, they're putting together classes. So, they might just come to do the town, if we have the town employees, the town board, and as many people as, they wanna make it worthwhile. Otherwise, they're gonna be running around like their heads cut off too. You know, so, I mean, it's, you know, so I'm on the soil and water committee, they've gotta have all the training, and it's about a 2 to 4 hour slide presentation or program that you gotta, learn. So it's, nothing simple, just another bump in the road. But that's something that we gotta, no, you're gonna make copies of that?
I would imagine.
You want that?
Baseline, about 4 hours, and then after that, a refresher.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said that you just wanted to see it,
There's a
because
big
it's a
change in
sample.
employment.
No,
Those people will have to go to
no,
a
that's from the insurance.
4 hour baseline.
Oh, okay. Well, this is sample, this is basically what we should look at.
4 hours.
Yeah,
That's what most of them are.
yeah, it's two parts, it's two 2-hour pieces, basically. That's what soil and water we were talking last month. And I kept interrupting, but that's beside the point. But, so that is the copy of what the insurance company has. You know, and like Sonia can make out copies for everybody to look at, and we can talk about it next meeting. Because you guys haven't been in the loop yet, so we'll let you have time to have any questions and stuff. I talked to our attorney today, and she said, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is a 1. It's very, she doesn't think it's a very major thing. But she also said that if there is any harassment cases, they've gotta have, I guess, union, or get lawyers that are labor related to overlook them. So who's paying for those lawyers? Taxpayers. So it's something that gotta be looked at, and I'll have signed do copies for you, so you can all have time to look it over, and we'll discuss it next month, more in detail. Okay, Mark, why don't we have you come to, what have you got to bring to the board? How's that?
Well, we'll get those long one out. Qualified abandonments, believe it or not, was something on my desk last month. I didn't realize it immediately. So basically, all the paperwork is here, has to be signed. There's a letter from Wayne, telling how the process went, basically what all you guys already know. And then the paperwork, the certifications and stuff have to be signed by the council, then supervisor and myself. And then this will all get filed back with filed with Sonia, and then filed with the county, and I believe the county will then forward it to the state of New York, because it has to do with, it will reduce the CHIPS money just a little bit, pennies. So, this is a letter, if you guys wanna read it, double-sided vote.
That's from Wayne.
Yeah.
And this is findings or whatever.
Yep, his findings, and, you know, basically him saying, he concurs with myself and the town board that, you know, nobody has used that regularly for 2 years, plus the months of September through, or June through September of last year, so.
I talked to one landowner, and he didn't really care which way it went.
Yeah, and already I found out, I had a conversation with one of the local businessmen, said that that was already up for bids for, they're gonna log it. So, the last time it got logged, you know, they pretty much destroyed it. So now it's gonna be out of our hands, we don't have to worry about it. You know, if he wants to Daniels' notes and stuff on this and some of the responses from the landowners. This basically is what is here other than the extras. You get anytime anybody wants to read that, you're more than welcome. Hand that around. Should be, the letter's the first, and then there's 2 copies there. And just basically gotta put it up as,
Need a motion to.
yeah, motion.
We all went through that meeting, and I'm, okay, anything else, Mark?
Yeah, the other thing was, the stove and that stuff
Oh.
was put out for bid. I ran it in the paper for, 5 working days. Noticed the bid, Town of Franklin is offering to the public via sealed bid, 1 used Harmon P48, or P43, excuse me, 43,000 BTU pellet stove and 1 500K BTU bioburner boiler, model BB 500, that was the one that was out here, the
Oh.
pellet.
Yep.
Units are on display at Town of Franklin, 12480 County Highway 21 Franklin, 13775. During the hours of 5 AM to 1:30, please call for. Bids are to be in sealed envelope, marked on the outside of the bid, which unit bid is for. Bids will be opened and read in the meeting on January 8th, 2019 at 6 PM, town office. Town has the right to reject any or all bids. So with that, there was 2 bids. First one is just, it's for the P48 pellet stove. Sorry about that, too lazy to get my own. So, Steve Haney gives his phone number, bid of $660 on the Harmon P43 pellet stove. This one was in the mailbox out front. Put in here with 2 bids, both of them are sealed. Derek Hoyt, 2160 Holmes Holler Road, Muncie, New York, 13752. So we'll do the pellet. Like I said, in that bid I put in there, if you wanna reject,
Right.
but I figured that was a good time to try to get rid of the boiler too. Town of Franklin, I offer a bid of $125 for the model P43 pellet stove. Thank you for your consideration, Derek Hoyt, and gives his phone number. So you can act on that one if you.
I'd entertain a motion to accept Steve Haney's as a local person, Franklin resident. And it is a lot higher bid than the other one, of $660.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you.
Bids, burner boiler, BB 550. What's the full circle? Dear Town of Franklin, I offer
Second. Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I'll contact
Thank you, Mark.
him, or I'll contact both of them.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Well, it's better than sitting in the room doing nothing for how many years?
Yeah.
Okay. The best part is, we didn't have to pay for it. Okay.
The only other thing, was, last month we talked about the bid on that grader. You allowed the $80,000 on it, and one bid went for over $172,000, and the second one went for over $175,000. So we got kicked out pretty quick.
We didn't get a bargain.
on that. And before we leave tonight, I'll go copy all those letters for the Russell Road letter, the revolving door, put back to the somebody else. And other than that, last month, to give you guys an idea of what's been going on, 17 times we were out last month, sanding, plowing, and the month before we were out 15 times already this year. So that's, putting a dent in our sand pile pretty quick, but we've got enough money in place that, we can get back what we need, so.
I had a concerned person, I mean, not really, he was just wondering, he always said that the sand, being it's so bad this year because of the conditions we've had, it seems like the roads get slimier,
They do.
and he was wondering if, I said, geez, when I go to Delhi, like Delhi uses some type of
They got
gravel,
more of a crushed.
crushed. And I didn't know if that was something feasible, I don't, it just, not the,
And Jamie and I were talking about that the other day about maybe trying to get some of that mixed in. I won't say which township,
Right.
but one township does that, it's more of a crushed, and it's kind of a little bit between A and a regular A stone and
Right.
one ST stone,
right,
about a third of that's ST side. That's pretty good because it's all crushed and it's square,
right.
We've seen in places where they're using like a number one, not quite a number one stone, but it rolls.
Well, I've noticed that going back way to Delhi, that when the roads are bare and dry, they're like driving on marbles, it's almost worse than the
Yeah.
slippery roads. But, I mean, I've noticed that where, if you get too much of that stuff, it can be very,
I mean, when you're going out this many times, at this
Right.
pace, we could be out close to 90 times this year.
right.
You go out and you put that much on 90 times, there's a lot of ditch cleaning, a lot of mess, and then the roads get slimy because that stuff, there's no hard stuff in it, it's just fines.
It is just so wet to start with.
So it's a catch-22, you gotta have it down on ice, but then when it thaws out, like we've been getting this is probably as bad as I've seen it in 37, 38 years, that we were doing, of course, back when I first started here, we plowed the day and sanded.
Most
Couple
rain
days.
since 1840 something.
Right.
Yeah, and that's
Moisture's out there.
another thing, you got that water working up through, goes down, but then it's working its way back up.
Yep.
Guys been working at trying to patch roads, but, just the amount of traffic is just
Right.
beating it up pretty good, so. That's, do we have anything? Okay. So we're good for right now.
Okay. On the planning board, we've had 2 meetings, I guess. No, we didn't have a December meeting. We did not. So we had a meeting last Thursday night, and it was basically, there was no business. It was just, they didn't want to have 2 months on a row that nobody was here in case somebody wanted to stop it. So it was a quiet meeting, about an hour long. Nobody did show up. There was a good conversation over concerns and issues. And it wasn't December, it was November meeting, which I'm not sure they had it boundary line adjustment up on Poet Road. That was the only business then, so it was, no business in December and, actually no business in January. Okay. I did. Well, sure, retired, he's a retired police officer, I think, out of New York City, and now he's working for the zoo down there, security. And they plan on moving up in 2020, building a house. They had the 2 lots, so they combined them into one. He wants to have, small animals, horses probably, a couple beef, a couple horses, some chickens, and, up there. So they merged the 2 parcels into one. That's all it was. Nice young couple. There's a lot of younger couples out there now.
I won't say, but how many holes is built on part two?
Oh. Not Bill. It is. I know you talked about, yep,
Yeah, supposedly, yeah, I'm told.
yep, yep. Okay, well, I talked to Neil last night, and I asked him to come to the board about the proposed addition that we're working on, or that we're planning on, or whatever. I left a message with Dave, so I can hear from him, our engineer. So Neil, if you have any more information, or if the people have questions, or,
I did talk to John today.
oh, okay.
John
Peterson, yeah?
Yeah, John Peterson, he was like, well, see what he can do. He said, I guess he didn't really, don't think he explained everything to me, what we're doing. But I printed off a couple of copies. I did 3, so I had 1, but
Yep.
I could probably pretty much clarify by memory, but,
You can pass one right
yeah.
there.
And I can kind of go in the middle there.
Yep, no, that's fine, yeah.
What I did was, I printed off, I started out with back in November, and it kind of got a little bit of a lost then, because
Yep.
I was out there and I had somebody else take it over, the engineers and architects. So what I did was, we put it back up, and this is the pictures of what the building would actually look like.
That's the facing the cell tower.
Yep, facing
Right.
the cell tower. This one here would be,
Yep.
yeah, just
Yep.
like that there.
Yep.
So,
And
That's-
that's a covered walkway on the end.
covered walkway on the end, you got your doors, and then what I did is on the front here, this would be
Oh, okay,
over here
yep.
on this side,
And the entrance is down
Entrance.
clerk.
the entranceway.
Yep.
And then what I did is I took a picture of underneath the, building itself. This is how many columns that would go into the ground. They'll all go down 4 feet, they all get concreted in, they're all concrete, they come up with concrete 6 inches above,
Okay,
and then there's a metal fastener on the top with all laminate beams that actually,
so those squares are,
that's concrete, yeah,
Okay.
it'll be
concrete
concrete.
there, and this,
Yep.
okay, yeah.
And it all comes
Looks
up.
like wooden posts to me.
Yeah, I know, we're coming up with a new 3D
Right,
system,
yep.
so
Okay,
it'll
yep.
come out either way
Yep.
around.
Yep,
Then the columns are gonna come up 6 inches of concrete off the ground, so there's actually no wood touching the ground at all.
yep,
And then the only thing that would be touching is there's around the edge here is the pressure treated piece of 2x6.
yep,
That's gonna hold the concrete floor in, and you're gonna go. And then when you pour your floor, the columns and the concrete comes one whole. It's a foundation, that's basically what it comes out to. And that's what we build off of. And you're coming off of that with your laminate beams, and you're gonna go up into your trusses, everything is all southern hard pine. I don't know, I think he got you these drawings before. I apologize for these being small, I didn't get into the office today, so when I got home, I was only able to print these off.
well, we haven't seen any of this, wasn't any of the plans that I saw.
I don't know why.
Anybody else?
Every time I asked him if he wanted me to come down, he said, no, you don't have to, so,
Okay,
so now I'm making myself present, because
right,
you know what,
well, we gotta get something going.
yeah,
Yep.
I will print these off,
What's the estimated price on this?
go
I think
to
it said 116,000.
116, somewhere around there. The
But
majority,
that's- go ahead.
I'm sorry, the majority of this is due to the, prevailing wage. That's where it comes as a trick play.
Wasn't the other, what was it for the old estimate that we had, 139, the prevailing wage cost was 40,000 or 50,000?
Yeah, I think if we break. I know the prevailing wage, I thought it said was about 20,000, was
Somewhere around there.
in that range, yeah.
I could have the
you know,
wrong, I could
guess-
have the wrong number here too, because I kinda, my guy was out and I kinda pulled this up and John
Right,
sent me
but
what.
I guess, you know, what my assumption was initially was that it was a shell for $130,000, which sounded excessive to me.
Okay.
But-
Is there
but
interior work
You
with
aren't
this?
pouring the floor, you're just pouring the piers, basically,
Exactly,
right?
Right, and, but it does include, it's totally insulated,
Yep,
right?
that's where I wanna get you
Insulation's
after
all
next.
in,
Yep, and we'll on this page here.
the windows and doors are,
Pillar doors, pillar windows, you got doors.
so that, I mean, that, see, I didn't realize
Insulation,
that was all
Yep,
in your price too, but, and it's all gotta go out to bid anyway, so.
Right.
There's nothing on the interior of the walls, just the insulation, correct?
insulation, correct. That's where you guys wanted to do, I mean, I
Yep.
think, as a matter of fact, hold on, it might be,
It's insulated.
I thought they were. Yeah, it's,
Putting the ceiling in it?
Pardon?
You putting the ceiling in?
yeah, the ceiling will be in too, the ceiling will be in, just gets blown in insulation. So, that's, it gets blown in and it's rolled insulation.
What's the ceiling made of?
That's the metal, just like the outside.
Well, that's all stuff we gotta work on.
Yeah, and it's also, the same thing as like your building that you have here now, it's not gonna be the, like, 29 gauge steel, it's gonna be 26, so. Yeah, it's commercial grade, commercial roll,
Yep,
you can, 98% of our competition.
because the
is taken
ceilings,
independent.
we will not have the steel ceilings, it'll be like this, and we want.
Oh, okay, maybe they did put it in for,
So I'm not sure, that's
I don't
what
know, let me-
we've gotta, you know, that's something.
I can get more info on that.
Okay.
Because like I said, I fed this off my
Yep.
computer
Yep.
and John sent it to me.
Yep.
Maybe they put in for just a drop ceiling, and then we're coming back to blow it in.
That could be, yep.
Cross protection,
We'll have to get together with yourself and engineers
yep,
to get more of a, you know, cause we gotta start thinking about letting, it, you know, getting something let out so we can start. And we've got, go ahead.
it says the interior walls have 2x4 stripping, so it's gonna be all studded throughout the whole entire building. So you'll just, with and the insulations, you have the 2x4s, so you'll be able to go along and put your sheetrock up, it'll be,
Okay, I thought everything had
Horizontal.
6 tall stuff.
it says 2x4 horizontal stripping, 16 on center.
Okay,
Wall
well,
cavity
this is all
insulation,
stuff we've gotta
Yeah.
look into, but I appreciate you
More now, yeah.
showing us, you know, more information on it.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's a big thing, at least we're not just out here.
Yeah, I figured you were shooting blind here, and that's why I figured, you know, let me run it down
Something's
here.
better than what we had.
Right,
so-
and then on the back, you'll notice everything that we
Yep.
do use, and it goes specification reports on everything that does get put into here. Because there's,
And we may have to have special meetings just to get, between, you know, get Delaware engineering here, so we can get things started, you know, get bidding going on.
yep, and then you let me know, and I can give you what needs to be put in.
I will keep you in the loop, and I appreciate you very much bringing this down, at least we got more to look at and see what we're doing,
This is,
and,
you guys can keep all this.
okay, if we can keep,
Anybody need a copy?
you guys got a copy of
I
it?
read this stuff that they.
Yeah, there's 3 copies.
Because I don't
Oh,
need it, so.
I don't know if that's all one.
Yeah, it is.
oh, okay.
It should be. Well,
Well, I do thank you very much, Neil, for coming
Yeah,
to me on short notice.
let me know, and
And we'll get that, I know I talked to Chad last night too, I called him Chad Trimble. And he's waiting on the cell crown towers to get him some money, he's got some of the material for it, for putting up the 6 meter base or whatever out there. And getting things going on changing the service over and stuff, cause we gotta get that done before we can do anything.
right.
So that's, Chad's waiting, I got a phone call into Crown Tower, and Tammy didn't call me back.
and in the back, it actually, I think there's a spec on the back somewhere that tells you how many, like from the time you put in, how long it'll take to get the building. And
Right,
everything.
okay. Yep, no, sounds great, well, we thank you very much, Neil.
Thank
And
you.
we are going forward with this.
Give me, I'll talk to you about something.
So, any other questions for Neil?
Anybody, oh, I'm sorry, anybody else?
Okay. I was showing you away, then I thought, well, that's all right, maybe you ought to talk too.
And if you need anything, just, you want cards or?
If you got them, sure, that'd be great.
You got, you call me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right,
Thank you, Neil.
give me up, you're welcome, thank you.
Yep. Okay. I guess, is there anything else? Board right now, before we open it up?
How you doing, John?
We're gonna have some more discussion on various options for the building later on, as far as, directions and stuff like that. And we talked a little bit the last meeting, I think.
Right, we gotta, yeah, well, that's where we gotta get a hold of Neil, and get the engineering firm here to get,
Yeah.
you know,
And then the other thing too is like, I mean, there's a couple different things that kicks around, one is like, either get a hold like Montford, I mean, cause they could even do a complete interior as well as like
oh, yeah.
Cohen and Fraser and
Eastman's,
Eastman's, yes, and
I'll see you later.
they're just, see what kind of a bid we get with them, cause we got a floor plan that they can work off of, it would give us a little bit more to work off of.
Yep.
I mean, the other option still is, I mean, if all of it comes in, we still could consider that modular idea, we've got the property, we just gotta establish the,
Right.
the location, which I don't
Yep.
think would be a hassle, but
Right.
the modular option is definitely, I mean, the base unit of them is very affordable,
Right.
you know, it's just we'd
Yep.
be relocating.
Right, yeah,
I
that's all.
still think that looking into some local bids anyhow,
Oh,
at
yeah.
least to,
Well, we've gotta,
We have to have
we
three
gotta
bids,
bid it
right?
out anyway, so, I mean,
right,
there is, I know, Jamie Commenda, which works for Eastman. He's very interested in, you know, they wanna bid on it,
good.
but we gotta get the plans for them to bid. You know,
Which
like,
we got
it
floor
shows-
plans,
Well, now we do. We didn't have any, before, I never saw any plans of the concrete piers and stuff like that. This is something that's the first time I've seen it. And that's what the big thing is, if it's gotta be a pole building, because this is a pole building, then we've gotta have piers and concrete piers and stuff. And if we don't have those plans for it, how could it bid?
We don't have much choice really, I mean, if it's a pole building, we're talking about attaching it here,
Right.
correct?
Right.
So that's a different discussion from, you know, then we're caught in the prevailing wage more so than the other, I mean, just looking at the nickels and dimes of it,
Right.
seems
But
to
I'm
me-
not sure on that aspect too, if even prevailing wage, it doesn't matter if we buy a building, I almost like, if we had somebody build a building for us and we moved into it,
Mhm.
they are required to pay prevailing wage on the building of that building.
Which they're gonna pass on to us.
Right, but isn't the modular company gonna,
No.
they're not gonna do the same thing?
Well, you
Maybe
know,
not.
that would have to be
That's-
documented for sure, but.
Right, that's something we gotta look at.
That's a purchase product, it's like, you know, you buy a car,
Yep,
it's delivered, that's what
Yep.
you pay for.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying that, you know, maybe that's not gonna meet the needs, but a big part of this expense is gonna be prevailing wage, and, you know, that's gotta be a large
I can pretty
consideration in
much
my
tell
mind.
you the prevailing wage,
What's that?
I can pretty much tell you, you're gonna pay prevailing wage.
Not for a modular.
Modular,
you're not-
you
you're
won't.
not gonna, Mark, I've had two of them, and I've talked to them, and there's not, for buying, if this was what you purchased, you don't pay prevailing wage, for them building that in the factory, and then they deliver it, and that's when it starts.
Yeah, putting it together and all.
No, it's put on the site, after it's put on the site, then you pay for prevailing wage for any work that's done on it, interior, plumbing, heating, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, certainly we'd have to document that, but I looked into it a little bit, and that's my understanding. I could be wrong,
Yeah,
but,
just,
you know,
That's what I
just wanna
explained to
make
you,
sure
too.
that they certify that,
sure.
because if they don't, then it comes back on us.
Right.
That's why it happened the last time, when I ended up with Department of Labor, your dad and I, going in over the FEMA projects and stuff. One was saying he was certified and did all this stuff, and then we find out that he didn't pay his guys.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, we have no control over whatever modular company is what they pay their employees.
Yeah, and just remember too, with Morton, they're gonna put the shell up, they'll insulate it, floor, anything done inside, they're not doing it. You know, so that's gonna be, you're gonna end up with like maybe 2 or 3 contracts.
Yeah, well, right.
Right. Where like Eastman, Mumford, any of them, we could wind up, I mean, we gotta look at it accordingly, we gotta look at it, you know.
Who does the floor and the heat and stuff, that Eastman's would be probably the, concrete piece.
But I mean, they
You know,
could,
the walls
we could
and
ask them
stuff.
to do it each way, you know, I mean,
And that's what the bid process will be.
right.
But that's where we've gotta get a hold of the engineer, because he's gonna really be tied into, releasing, these are the plans that have gotta be released and bid on. So, I mean, we're not in that category of doing that, I think that's why you pay the engineer.
Yeah, he should give us
5 to
a,
10%, that's his job,
yeah.
and I'm sure it is. But that's what we've gotta get together, probably at a special meeting possibly, just to discuss that, to get it rolling.
I mean, right now,
I'm
I
just-
think our initial bid, our estimates was, put us all on kind of like a, you know.
On your heels.
Yeah, we gotta explore things a little bit,
That's right.
Always an engineer's estimate too, which is,
Right,
but the Morton estimate came right from the main office.
right.
I mean, Neil's was a little bit less, but not much.
The foolish part is, whenever it's tied into government, our attorney, when I talked to her about it, she said, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. And she said, you better think, and this for me, she said, you better figure, it could go to $500,000. I said, you gotta be kidding. But, just because she works with other municipalities that have, that have done this, and I said, that's just foolish.
Especially for that size, I mean, if we get into that kind, it's a great location, great idea, but we have no room to grow.
Right.
If we're gonna get into that kind of money,
Then
I think we need to relocate, reconsider some options, so 10 years from now, if we need more space, we can
Yeah.
grow,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, but I think, we'll have to set up some more meetings,
Yeah.
get this moving.
And isn't a lot of this discussion centers around too, we have to do with wires, you got another building that, adding onto this, you got, the overhead wire
Well,
issue.
that's all gotta be taken down before we can do anything.
And that's what I mean, but that's all associated with an attached building,
Right.
which you wouldn't necessarily have if maybe
No,
look
I
at some
think
other
that is
options.
probably gonna happen.
But it's probably gonna happen anyway, but,
And, so, the big thing is, we gotta get together with the engineer
yeah.
and get together with Morton, just to get some good ideas on how to go forward.
I think I did some rough, it was like $200 and some odd a square foot. For
Yeah, 1,200 square feet for.
And that's like building
100,000.
Manhattan, for God's sakes, I don't know,
Yep.
I don't know.
But it was also top grade.
Better be.
They didn't, you got the heat in the floor, and you got the heat exchangers, and, the bathroom, which is probably gonna cost you $20,000 or $30,000 just for the
But compared to the whole thing, that's really not much.
10%.
I mean, 139,000 for just a shell.
That's what's.
That's
That's
ridiculous.
ridiculous, but that's where we've gotta get together and get it hammered down, and that's why the bid process is gonna happen. Cause the bids will be the same thing, we took bids today. If we don't like them, we won't accept them. But we've gotta do something. Okay, now we'll open it up to,
I got
Paul.
one first. We need to set a date to have the books audited before the end of the month,
Oh,
preferably toward the end of the month, so I
Okay.
have the bank statements and everything reconciled.
okay, and that was Donnie and Mike last year.
Yep.
Would you be, available to do it this year?
Sure. Yep.
have a one-person committee, cause that's all we can have,
So one of us can do it.
only one of you, because it's not gonna be an open meeting.
That's a crime. It's not a quorum.
I know, it isn't, and I agree, but the
Yes.
paperwork
I
says
talked to
that.
the auditors about it, and they never heard of such a thing.
Well,
So,
the papers I got
they work
from,
for the state too. So,
well, I don't,
and I could understand, like, the village board has 3 trustees, 2 people, that's a quorum.
I agree.
I completely understand.
I agree,
It makes absolutely no sense.
and I agree with
And I
that.
think, I don't think it would stand up, but if you wanna cater to him, go ahead. Like I said, you can still have 2 people look at them at different times. I think it's smart to have 2 people look at them. I feel better if there's 2 people, that's how it needs to go down.
I
They don't
agree.
have to be there at the same time, therefore you don't have to have a meeting, but 2 people need to look at those books. Otherwise,
My thought was, we appoint one person, and then if somebody else wants to go with them at their own free choice, there's only one member on that committee. But
let's appoint 2 people to go at different times.
Well, the point is the signatures what's gonna be important. The verification of it, that's what they're gonna look at.
2 people
That's,
at different times, and we'll go from there.
cause we have, most of the
we got,
committee
3
council
weeks.
has 2 signatures for everything. You know, it's what's safe.
right, and I'm not disagreeing, I think it's, but that's what the rulings that were given, and I mean, it's foolish, I agree. So, you know, 2 different people will look at it 2 different times?
Yeah, we don't have to set the dates right now, as long as I can get a
They're
hold of
appointed,
them and they,
get a hold of them, get
whatever
them
works out for them.
for them. That'd be all right?
That works for me.
Okay.
You, Dwight?
And
Yeah,
maybe
that's
I'll
fine.
try to get a hold of our attorney and see what she says about this.
It's got nothing to do with it.
No, but she's a legal, or she's our legal advisor.
2 people can do the audit,
Right,
that's what makes it
separately.
right.
Okay, doing it separately, so
Yes,
that's
at
right,
different
okay.
times.
Okay, yep, yep.
That's what the state wants. It's not what
What?
he wants, it's what the state wants.
The state wants to
That's
do-
who we're
look-
trying to please.
Right. Okay,
Jeff, I just have one other question.
Yes.
I'm going backwards again, but, so what is the, what's the, path for, the new building again? We're gonna have to sit down with who?
the engineer, and I would believe probably Morton Building.
And what about other bids and stuff like that?
That will be, this is to get the plans that we can release that way.
Put a bid package
Because the first thing we
together.
gotta do is
To get it.
do the frame, the shell.
Well, the engineer should be able to put up some form of bid plan that we need. We don't really need Morton involved in it.
Well, I'll ask Dave if he wants Morton involved or not, because I didn't see any plans from Dave like what we got just from Morton just now. Any of the piers or anything like that.
But we did get plans, was it the
For
last?
the
meeting?
interior.
For the interior layout, yes, we got plans for that. But we've gotta have engineered plans to put for the piers and everything.
Blueprints.
Blueprints.
But that's only for one road, i.e. add it onto here. The pier-
For adding on here, yes,
Right.
right.
But if there are any other options to be considered, how do we work that into the scheme
Well,
of
that's what we'll have to
considerations?
talk to, Delaware Engineering on. Cause
Do
what's,
you have to
what's,
have plans, or do you
Yeah, I
have to
mean,
have
I-
specs? That says, we want this by this, so many feet by so many
Exactly.
feet pole building to attach at this juncture, and give them the specs and let them,
Yeah.
well, that's what.
because a lot of these companies, these individual guys could go out and buy a kit
Right.
and put up a steel pole building, you know.
Yeah, no, it's gotta have the specs.
Right.
I guess blueprint specs, whatever you wanna call it. This is what we want, a 24 by 50-foot building with a 4-foot overhang for a covered walkway, and it's gotta have, 26 gauge, tin or aluminum on it or whatever heavier. You know, it's gotta have the trusses to carry so much snow weight. It's gotta have, you know, the R value if it's the insulation, the doors have gotta have these specs for the doors, these specs for the windows. And that's what, you know,
And
that's
then do the same with the interior, like you gotta have.
yeah, the interior will be the whole, the same thing, the kind, if you're putting heat in the floor and stuff, that's all gotta be, you know, spec'd out. And this, you know, that'll be probably, as Paul said, I think, in 3 different things, you'll get the shell, then you get the floor, you get the base done, and then it'll be doing framing the rooms.
But again, that's just a pole building hooked up
That's
here.
planning on what we're
Right.
talking right here.
So I guess what I'm wondering is what are some, what,
If
how do we have to proceed? Let's say it was decided tomorrow that, okay, we're better off dollar-wise or whatever to do it a different way, and not a pole building, or not a pole building right here, or something like that.
Right,
In other
That's-
words,
that's
if
another
we're
option
just
down
gonna
the
do
road.
this, if it's a done deal, then they're the engineers, we're not gonna tell them what the R values or anything else is gonna be, they're gonna do it according to whatever the codes are, right?
Yeah.
And that's the end of that. So we don't even do much, but, you know, but then there's a consideration of other options. And that's what I'm asking about, is, you know, how do we work that into the plan, or is that something that shouldn't be considered? Because this is running into a lot more money than I thought it would be. I'm not an engineer, but still, nevertheless, you know, we'd kick ourselves if we didn't look.
right, but you're also a modular, we just put a modular, a used modular, which we spent
I'm not saying it has to be a
$30,000
modular. I'm not saying it has to be, or,
Well, that's, but, what I'm saying, by the time we put the septic in, a well in, the used modular concrete pad, that's just a pad it is, we spent close to between $80,000 and $90,000, and it's a 10-year-old home, and there's no basement, and it's a little bit bigger than what this, about the same size as this addition. By the time you put a well, by the time you put a septic system in, and by the time you put in a parking area and such, you were gonna be spending, and that was not prevailing wage at all. I mean, we can look into it, there's no doubt about it, and there's and we should.
I think we
But-
have to, don't we?
Yeah.
I mean, we
I
have no
think it's a
choice.
good idea, but I wanna, this is the most practical thing to do, the money is not.
No, I understand that.
That's the whole thing here is money, which I understand, and that's what it should, money should be a big portion of it.
You need to,
But, pardon?
you need to plan for the future a little bit too, so think down the road, is this building gonna be big enough to handle everything?
Right.
You know, cause you're kinda locked into a
We
little bit of
can't
hole right here.
expand at this site.
I understand that.
That's
so, I
the
mean,
point, that's what I'm saying,
Right,
10 years from now, if we're in a different location, we could grow. Where here, we've got no place to grow unless we buy out back, clear space out back and grow, I mean.
And we have to get what? We have to get, as I understand, we have to get 3 bids anyway.
yeah, we're right, yeah.
So if we get 3 bids, are we gonna get 3 bids just on one design idea?
You don't,
Or,
you don't have to get 3 bids, you just have to bid it.
Yeah, we don't
And
have.
hopefully get 3.
You hope to
you
get.
hope to get 3, okay, so you have to put 3 out.
No, just
Out
gotta
there.
put, you gotta put the bids out. If somebody looks like, I ain't bidding on that, that's
Okay.
not your problem, but
Right.
as long as you put the bids
As long
out
as you
there,
advertise it and.
you can go with 1, you can go with 1 out of 10,
Okay.
okay?
But I guess what I'm thinking, Mark, is that I think in that process, you should look at all the different options. It may be that something else
absolutely.
says, you know, that's you know, we can expand, maybe it's less money, I don't know. But, it's certainly, you know, worth a look. Otherwise, basically, the decision is made, it's gonna be out there, and, you know, we're focusing on something we might be sorry down the road on.
I think you put it out to bid, get the numbers, see what the numbers are.
Yeah.
And then decide, it might be, oh, we can live with it, it might be no.
I mean, it might be perfect,
Then we
we'll
go-
say, I'm not.
We don't have to
Yeah.
accept them,
Yeah.
but let's
We
see
gotta
what
get
the
it,
see what
numbers
they
come
come
back.
Exactly,
Process out.
exactly, see what it says.
Yep.
But, you know, if we make too many assumptions, none of us here are engineers or the
Right.
people we're asking to do the work to configure this thing, so see what they say, maybe it's gonna go this way. But if we don't look,
Right.
you know,
Okay. Now we'll open it up to the public, if there's any concerns or questions. Mike?
Anybody else? All right, I always do, so, just to continue the discussion on Schoolhouse Road, I voted up a lot since we discussed it last. You know, there's two areas that seem to be a problem. There's the steep grade going down to Case Hill Road, and I noticed that Post Road, the bottom of that road is asphalt. I don't know if that's similar scenario, that, you know, because it is a dangerous road. I don't know if it would help, I feel it would help the town maintenance crew, ground, you know, highway department in maintaining that area now that they got the drainage much better. With a lot of work, all right? And then on the other side of Schoolhouse Road, by the bridge and that road up to 14 can be very dangerous and slippery. As Mark said, the sand creates a greasy atmosphere for vehicles. You know, in both areas, it seems that, you know, if we can spend some money on improving Schoolhouse Road, maybe start there, which it's the in and out of the road. If we can find the money to do that, basically. As far as the swampy areas in front of by Artie's and mine, by the pond, as we discussed, the pond has been an asset to the town, in the fact that it's been used in a, you know, unfortunate situation. Plus, the town has used it for drills, practices, and I've told them they could put a dry outlet there from time to time way back. I was not opposed. That was the whole purpose of that pond, was to be used for fire prevention. So, you know, the rest of it, as far as I can see, is the grade, the drainage on the ditches, of course, you know, need to be done. I want to know how you guys feel about that.
I am not gonna sit here and go, yes, I'm gonna do it, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'll look at it and stuff. Some of the comments you made last month about, you know, like, on the backside towards Case Hill side, you know, about how we have to plow that, you know, how he does that. The way, he doesn't have a problem getting up and down, none of us have a problem getting up and down. He just drives up one side, sands it, so when he comes back, he drives on sand. So that's, well, there's one girl that leaves up there probably 5 o'clock every morning, and she ain't had a problem getting off that hill yet. I see her at Dave's barn every day. And her father goes off, her mother goes off there and stuff, so I probably better off to leave well enough alone. As far as down by the bridge on the other end, we have talked about quite a bit about double surfacing down there, see if we can get some of the issues there. But other than that, to sit here and say in front of everybody, yes, I'm gonna do this, no, I'm not gonna do that, I'm not gonna do that.
I didn't expect it, Mark, but what is a consideration, because there's always an emergency that has to come first. A disaster, this and that, which we all understand. You know, it's a perfect road to experiment for the future of all the lousy, or not lousy roads, the amount of dirt roads we have in this town, and we could try experimenting with that road for the future people that are gonna be working on the roads, and see what might work, what might not work, combining with all the discussions you had about other towns, different grits and all that. It's a kinda has everything on that road that you could try when you have time. You know, ditching, I know a lot of times, your grader was there, and then there was something happened, it had to be pulled to another job because that road's bad. I'm going back over 10 years, you know,
Well,
I understand that,
in
I
06
understand that scenario,
Yeah,
and I'm not
06, 07.
criticizing anybody for that, that's the way it goes, you only have a limited amount, and, you know, if we ever have, you know, we should have some time. On chip money though, you explained it very well how we get it. And I think after looking at the tape and all, I wish I would've asked, what are we able to use the chip money for? You know, because they must have strings attached to it.
Yeah, so, we can use it for paving, we can use it for gravel, the problem is, when you use the chips, whatever you do has to last 10 years. I can't, if I went up there and say, let's say we double surfaced it, went up there for 10 years, I can't go in there and do that again for 10 years. I think it's gonna change back, but.
Double surf means, I'm sorry.
Tar stone, oil and stone.
Oil and stone?
No, I'm just gonna put into this, Mark, that means you can't use CHIPS money on that piece of road for 10 years.
Yeah.
Right, so you can have
Especially
the
if
town.
So like right now,
Right.
Like Jacksonville, we went up there and
Right.
paved that, so that's, you know, under the 10-year program.
Yep.
We can go back in, right now, the way it is, I could go in there and single surface or double surface it within five years, at 5 years. Most of the time what we were doing is, every third or fourth year, we were going and chip stone and over it, our funds.
Yep.
They've loosened that up, hopefully it doesn't change back.
Right.
But like, if I went in there and say, put 6 inches of gravel all the way across it, I can't go back and get 6 inches of gravel again for another 10 years.
Right.
And stuff, so anything, major road construction, that type of stuff, paving, you know, surfacing, all of that, so that's, because that's set up under what they call bond, it's under the bonds, or highway bonds. So those mature every 10 years, and that's where that money comes from.
So even if you just do a small section, that takes the whole road out?
Yes.
Or just a no?
Not necessarily, like, they have segments that they do in our inventory, so I could probably the first mile or so, it would take that out of the program. So.
Now, what about the fire on that? Because, you know, this pond here, years ago, was supposed to be, and you've used it years past, my pond, about putting the dry outlet and a safety thing for firemen in the event.
That's all done under the fire departments, if they wanna do that, or how they come up with the money. There's some grant money, I believe, under DEC, but other than that, I don't know anymore.
Well, I'm just putting it out there for you. It was put out there about 10, 15 years ago. You know, unfortunately, we had to use it since. And, you know, I had it explained to me today how, I mean, when you come to a fire, you can put hose to how far over one of your best trucks. When you can pull hose.
Depending on how many trucks you wanna use, but usually about 12 to 1,400 feet.
Per truck? Right, so even on my pond, we cover 4 or 5 houses with,
Yeah.
4 houses maybe with, 1 truck, 2 trucks.
Couple trucks, 2 trucks, and, but they would supplement it with tankers and stuff too. So.
Yeah. It's,
I mean, nobody likes dirt roads, but they were dirt roads when everyone moved here. I'm not saying we shouldn't put grass on the roads, which we should, but we can't go and do that for everybody, all because they want it right away. And this year's worse than ever, because it's been so wet.
But
Not only in the spring, but in the fall, and it's just, the roads are just, and I'm sure that Mark's in the plans of trying to figure where we can, but everyone wants their section in front of their house to be turned to blacktop when it's been dirt road forever.
I'm only asking for safety and fire accessibility. So it's not really a selfish thing I'm asking. Am I?
Yeah, but you gotta think about it on the other hand, say somebody up on Russell Road has that same feeling. Somebody on Gay Brook has that feeling. So now, everybody could put up an argument, yeah, for fire, for safety, yeah, we need to do this and this. The bottom line of the whole thing is one, we got a 103-mile road. So if you take and do 1 mile a day, there's 103 days I just took, 103 working days. I'm not talking about 30 days in a month, I'm talking 20 days in a month. So trying to get everything perfectly fixed all the time is never gonna happen, especially with the work crew. You got 8 guys trying to do that, 2 graders going. Every time you take a day out for rain, that puts us another day behind, so 75 roads that we're maintaining at 103.4 miles. So basically, we got 42 paved and we got 62 in gravel. And we're
Yeah, but I
doing
think
the
I
best.
just stated that in the sense that you just start on the road on some point, if you have. I mean, Jackson Road took, unfortunately, a lot of time.
Yep.
You know, you might only get 2 days this year with the weather to do a little project somewhere that you can build on, you know, and for the next, you know, to fix experiment on how to make it easier for yourself, your employees, and benefit, you know, people. Where it is, it could be anywhere in this town. I mean, I'm just pointing out 2 spots that are very unsafe. One spot I'm just bringing up about the fire, and you know, if you choose another road, you choose another road. But that road basically has everything that, you know, you might only do one thing in 10 years. But it's, you know, I mean, obviously, you will probably get to wood ditching this year where it needed.
Yep.
Sorry you didn't get the grader, which you needed, but I'm just saying that this road has everything. And what you could do, you know, I mean, you said you looked at the one side anyway.
Yep.
You know, that's
The main priority, as far as I'm concerned, that can all change in an election, the next guy comes in, but you gotta really seriously think about tying, like East Hanson Brook, we got a mile section up there that's in between is dirt. Really, you should be tying that together, which would make it easier for us, like when we're sanding and salting, because you could take one load up there and salt instead of having to switch everything. You got Christian Hill up here, it goes up there a mile, 1.1 miles, and then goes to dirt, and then you got pavement on the other end of the town. That should be done. Maybe someplace like Swart Hollow, those places need to be done first. This is my opinion, to tie some stuff together here, whether it be for commercial use, you know, people coming into the town, you know, nobody wants to go down a paved road and then all of a sudden here's a dirt road and then you don't have to go to another paved road, you know, those would be my feelings. Like I said, this can change. My feelings, those roads need to be tied together first. Those are the priority roads that need to be done. You know, and there's plenty of them right now.
but safety on Schoolhouse Road should be looked at a little.
It'll be looked at. But if you put it on like a scale of 1 to 10 of priorities, I would say it's in the 3 to 5 range. Quite frankly, it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, it goes to about 15 or 16 taxpayers that have been paying their taxes. I mean, that's about all we ask for, is road service.
That's
I
a
mean,
good road though, I mean, it has potholes in it, but it's wide, I just traveled it this past week, it's maintained. I'd say it's as good as it's ever been. It used to be a lot narrower.
Oh,
Yeah, we go up with 16-foot wide equipment.
that case Hill
There's a lot
Road,
of roads that we can't meet another car on, we're plowing with a wing. We can't even meet a car and pass. Blue School is not one of those roads. You could have three of us go out through there, I mean, that's wide.
That's what I mean, I go down those corners.
There is some roads that
16 feet,
are
there's no spot.
more dangerous than that, and the speed limit is 55 on those single lane roads too. Like
But
it or
the
not.
but the bottom of that hill on Case Hill, if the conditions aren't right or wrong, you can't stop.
It's,
It
I can
is-
pretty much tell you that's 100% true on any road,
Right.
any road. You can throw it up there as Blue School, coming down that steep grade. I can remember when they did that, cause I rode down the Bulldozer, I was 12 years old. And if you'd have seen what that road was like back at that time, you would go, man, this is pretty nice. Cause I can remember sitting on a D9 for days with another guy going down through there, that road, your shoulders would touch going down each side. First off, you gotta remember something, Mike, this is Delaware County. We're in the foothills of the Catskills. We have hills. We're gonna put up with hills. Go to Sherman Hill, go to Palmer Hill, go to Snake Hill, go to Blue Schoolhouse, go to Post Road. It's all going down. What ain't going down is going up. So, beat me up about that grade going down to Case Hill. No too many people have much problems on that road, the way we sand it and the way we take care of that. Remember, roads don't create a problem. The guy behind the wheel is the one that creates the problem.
Right, but Post Road, that bottom,
Yep,
that definitely improved it by McAdam that, right?
yep, and that was done in 89 or 90.
And that held up.
Yeah, but we've maintained it. I mean, we trip seal it 660 feet. And that one is because of the 90-degree turn in it. And one of the taxpayers at that time that lived up there beat the town board up and beat the highway superintendent up pretty good about it. And they finally gave up and did it. I'm not gonna say that that's gonna happen on Blue School.
No, nobody's gonna do that.
But
Been through enough. But what about the fire?
about what?
What about the, oh, you said the fire department has to issue that.
Yeah.
Any other concerns? Jim Basil has a letter, a couple months ago, he gave us a resolution to look at about the reappraisal for this year, the planning for this year. We'll have to dig it out and respond to it next month. Find it and by next month, it's something that the state's looking at, because we haven't had a reappraisal in 13 years?
02.
Was it 02? Was that now 05?
Someplace in
It's
there.
been early 2000s, so it's getting time to do a reappraisal. I did get a notice or a letter from the town judge that his records are ready for auditing. So we're waiting to get back in October, we did October or something, we did this past year, so. It's early on, it's not a bad thing to get done too. So we may have to schedule that, or maybe do it at separate times or whatever, how we wanna handle that. I think that, anything else to come before the board? Assuming we close the meeting, there will be, but at this time, I guess I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we thank you very much for coming.
Happy New Year.